All right, everyone, I will be going over the Virtuous command conduit today. Initial reactions is not good in PvP. I'll explain how it works right now. So your judgment gives you a seal. It's like the old seals from back in the day. And what that seal does is it gives your abilities for 5 seconds an extra damage instance for 10.4% of them. And the abilities affected by this are Templar's Verdict, Crusader Strike, Blade of Justice, and your auto attacks. And it lasts for 5 seconds. It does not overlap with Divine Toll. So if you Judgment and then Divine Toll, it does not add anything extra to the buff. You have to use them separately. In the best situations for this conduit, you are using Judgment in melee range, which unfortunately detracts from the point of judgmenting from range. It's a range ability. Blade of Justice will not do any damage unless with Virtuous command unless you are on the target in melee range. The same deal goes for Final Verdict. So for example, Judgment, I get the buff Virtuous command, no extra damage, no extra damage. You have to be in melee range for this conduit to do damage. Now, how much damage is it actually doing? Let's go in here. I'm going to go ahead and Judgment, Blade of Justice, Templar's Verdict. What did it do right there? So, Virtuous command did a total of 800 extra damage. And the extra, you guys may have seen a bunch of extra attacks right there, and that is because we had a Zeal proc, which tossed in 2 auto attacks there. So we had 4 instances of Virtuous command. 1 from Blade of Justice, 1 from Templar's Verdict, and 2 from auto attacks because we managed to get 2 auto attacks in because of Zeal making our auto attacks go faster. So in PvE, when you're not running Final Verdict, this might be pretty good. You're adding roughly 800 damage for Judgment window, as long as you're using it in melee range and you're not judgmenting from range. But in PvP, this is a big deal. You're kind of wasting the point of your ranged abilities, and this is almost never going to work unless you're already on top of the target judgmenting. And you know that does happen, but more cases than not, it doesn't happen. You're judgmenting someone from like maybe right here, and then you're chasing them down, and you're trying to use your Blade of Justice from range, but it's not going to do anything with the Virtuous command buff. So what I'm trying to say is, guys, it's not good for PvP. If you're going to go double potency in PvP, I recommend either Templar's Vindication, because it does do a little bit of extra damage. Like it's roughly 1.5 to 3k extra damage. The max Templar's Vindication I ever saw for me was roughly, I think it was 3.6k. And then the other conduit that I would recommend would be Truth's Wake. But personally, I'm not going to try out Truth's Wake quite yet. I'm going to wait for my 226 conduit from the vendor next week. And I'll give you my final verdict on... my final verdict, okay. Pun intended. Of Truth's Wake. This will add a teeny bit of extra burst. But guys, in the end, I think we're going to end up going double finesse or double endurance. Ret Potency conduits, even at the higher ranks, are just not good right now. They're not strong enough. They're not potent enough. And yeah, that's about it for my review of the Virtuous command conduit. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next video. Peace.